Screen capture can provide a number of supports for students as they're interacting with primary sources and trying to answer document-based questions. Some of the ways that it can provide support are through highlighting critical features with annotation tools, providing vocabulary supports, background knowledge. Just by virtue of it being read aloud, it can provide a reading support for those who struggle with reading on grade level or possibly with some of the language that they're asked to read in these documents. The other nice thing about screen capture is that it provides a permanent on-demand resource, and this opens it up for a lot more flexibility with reteaching. It can provide a lot more discrete repetition for students to have things repeated individually without everyone knowing it, and they're more likely to get that repetition if that's in place. And finally, just the fact that it's on demand and in a format that can be accessed on pretty much any computer, it has a lot more flexibility in how you can link to it or embed it in Word documents, so students can click on a hyperlink and open it up. It can be hyperlinked from within a digital graphic organizer in Inspiration if you're using a concept map. And finally, you can put it up on Edline for students to access through that as well. One of the tools that we have readily available to us is in ActivInspire. And the screen capture in ActivInspire allows you to both capture what's happening on the screen, use the annotation tools in ActivInspire or any other program for that matter, and have your voice recorded at the same time. So let's take a look at an example of screen capture to illustrate and provide supports around a primary source in Social Studies 8.
This is a political cartoon from 1846. In this cartoon, it's important that you understand that things are not real or true to life. There are two figures, and they're speaking to each other. When they're saying the 49th and let's settle it amicably, and this gentleman is saying no siree, he wants the whole of Oregon or none at all. I do and don't do nothing else. Let's look at Oregon. This is the territory during the time known as the Oregon Territory, and it was being fought over between the United States of America and the Canadians in the north, who were Great Britain. And the Americans were accepting the fact that we could divide it along the 49th parallel, whereas the Canadians wanted all of this territory that was an orangish color. Going back to the cartoon, you can see a couple of things. Let's look at this word amicably. It's actually a play on the word amicably, which is friendly. We've talked about the 49th parallel. And then I want you to look at the two gentlemen, this one being much taller than the other. He's actually posed with his hands up higher, whereas this gentleman has his hands in his pocket. And his hat is even taller than the other. So when you look at these two and you think of Canada and you think of the U.S., that's what this cartoon was trying to get you to see, was that the Canadians weren't playing nicely, but we were bigger. If you go back to the map, and remember your map of the United States, is this today the line? Yes, it is. And so you can think about how they were able to settle this, dependent upon what they wanted to do in 1846.
Creating a resource like this is easy in ActivInspire. You'll need a microphone or a headset microphone. Make sure it's plugged into your computer and your audio is working well. After that, you open ActivInspire, open the flip chart. In this case, Miss Woodward has copied the images into her flip chart. She's then going to choose the tool icon, select More Tools, and then select Screen Recorder. You could choose to record the whole screen or draw a certain area that you want to record. In this case, select the area screen recorder. You're then going to draw the exact area that you want to record on the screen. And again, this will record that area no matter what program you move within. After that, you'll draw the area and then click Launch Recorder. It's going to ask you to where you want to save the video file, and it's going to save it as an AVI file, which can be opened up in Windows Media Player or QuickTime. After you choose the location where you want to save it, and you can always move that file around after you save it, the screen recording will start, and you'll know because the red button on the recording toolbar is going to change to a flashing blue and then red. And as you're recording, you'll speak, and you can annotate on the screen and move between pages of your flip chart or go to other programs like Internet Explorer to use this screen recording tool. After you finish, you click on the stop button, and it's automatically going to save that file with that screen recording that you can then open up in Windows Media Player or another program like QuickTime that can open up AVI files.